be from what you call as Indian polity. 250 नंबर से सबसे ज्यादा जो क्वेश्चन आएंगे वो आएंगे इंडियन पॉलिटी से. So maximum questions will come from what you call as precisely hardcore Indian polity. I'll explain you what I mean by Indian polity because everything is Indian polity. So out of 250 marks, hardcore polity questions, hardcore means pure polity questions, that will be somewhere around 120 marks approximately, plus minus 10-20 भी जा सकता है. So Indian polity 120 marks. Now you may ask me that what questions or what subjects, what area I put in Indian polity. Now I give an example. Considering the previous mains question paper which was conducted in 2025, here suppose the question came in the mains exam and the question was on Indian president, then it's a question on Indian polity. Suppose the question came on governor, Indian polity. The question did come on Indian president, so it was a question of Indian polity, the pardoning power of the president. प्रेसिडेंट की पार्डनिंग पावर पे क्वेश्चन आया था, वो क्वेश्चन हार्डकोर किसका है? इंडियन पॉलिटी का. उसके बाद सपोज द क्वेश्चन कम्स ऑन रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट, करप्ट प्रैक्टिसेस. क्वेश्चन इलेक्शन पे है, क्वेश्चन इज ऑन इलेक्शन, इंडियन पॉलिटी. क्वेश्चन इज ऑन सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन, इंडियन पॉलिटी. क्वेश्चन इज ऑन इमरजेंसी, इंडियन पॉलिटी. क्वेश्चन इज ऑन जुडिशरी, इंडियन पॉलिटी. Question is on emergency, Indian polity. Question is on misuse of ordinance, Indian polity. Now this you will be able to understand when you go through the syllabus and the previous year questions. Syllabus and the previous year question. After that you understand what I am saying. Then if we move to the next section which primarily is covered in GS2, then after Indian polity, the other major chunk from which the questions will come, I call it as governance. Governance means the application part, the broad part. For example, if the question came in examination and the question was on civil services, अभी all India services पे question आता है, question came on all India services, question came on all India judicial service. Now all India judicial service is a part of civil services. If the question comes, it's a question on governance. If the question came, now Sonam Wangchuk, Ladakh protest. Now when the protests were there in Ladakh, people said that Sonam Wangchuk instigated the protest. Now Sonam Wangchuk is a part of civil society. Now we don't know what the truth is. But what we are trying to discuss here is that sometimes the role of civil society. Now don't ask me, I am not teaching you as such just now, I am giving a broad orientation. Now Sonam Wangchuk had an NGO and that NGO was receiving foreign funding. Government cancelled the license of the NGO, FCRA license cancel ho gaya, foreign contribution. Now foreign contribution can be received only when your FCRA license is intact, but his FCRA license is revoked. He cannot get the contribution because NGOs, their role has always been in controversy, and so is the particular case. So if the question came on NGOs, then again governance. If the question came on civil society, then again governance. If the question came on media, then again governance. Now media in India is playing a very, very important and a controversial role. So you can expect a question on media, censorship, social media. So transparency in administration, RTI. Now 2025 was the 20th year of RTI coming into action. 2005 में लॉ बना था, 2025-20 साल हो गए. So you can expect a question on RTI, right to information. RTI relates to transparency, governance. So these are the broad areas which we put in governance. And how do you identify them? you don't need to identify them. Doesn't make a difference while answering the question. I can tell that it's polity or governance, hardly makes a difference. I have read the content, I have read the whole course, I can answer it. I need not put a stamp that this is governance or this is polity. Anyways, so all these are the broad areas which I call as governance, and the questions which can come on governance will be around of weightage 50 marks. Polity, hardcore polity 120 marks, governance 50 marks. So you see, out of 250 marks, half of the paper is on Indian polity. That is the importance of Indian polity. GS2 का आधा पेपर तो Indian polity पर ही आ जाता है. So this is extremely important that way, right? Now if I proceed further, though it's not my domain, let me tell you that GS2 further has got two major areas other than polity and governance. There is one more area, and that is international relations. That is again around 50 marks. Now let me run a disclaimer here that before I move further, and I give this disclaimer in every batch, everywhere, to everyone. If you see my handwriting, that it's a special kind of handwriting, and I have taken a diploma, you can say diploma from California University. I don't know it exists or not. That is in special calligraphy. Special calligraphy means handwriting which only I can understand. With time, you will also understand what I am writing. Sometimes I myself get confused what I have written. But anyways, handwriting is under my limited control only. So bear with me, and with time, you will be accustomed to it and you understand, अच्छा इसने ये लिखा है मतलब ये है, right? So in the beginning, you may have some kind of it will take some time, but then after the second class, you will be accustomed completely. It's readable. It's readable, देखो. Now I am feeling proud of my handwriting. Anyways, 50 marks. So this will be taken by some other teacher, IR. Then the fourth area on which you can expect a question is regarding the welfare schemes run by the government. Government is running different welfare schemes. Different laws are being passed for the welfare of people. जैसे PM Shri was in news. PM Shri was much in controversy Kerala को लेकर. So any government measure, welfare measure, that we refer here as the welfare measure or welfare measures. The weightage will be around 30 marks. Why I say around? Because it's not fixed. It can go plus minus 20, plus minus 15. It's not hard and fast. So broadly 4 areas: hardcore polity, governance, international relations, welfare measure, 120 marks, 50 marks, plus minus 20, 50 marks, 30 marks. And this is your GS paper 2. So I told you what is the weightage of Indian polity in the pre-exam, what is the weightage of Indian polity in the mains exam, but this is not over yet. Importance of polity actually goes beyond GS paper 2. Reason? If suppose you got a question in GS1 related to secularism, which actually has come in exam, then let me tell you, my friend, that you can easily answer this question if you have gone through the polity notes. A question came in examination regarding secularism. As it was discussed in the class. Polity notes, you could have copy pasted, but that will be a kind of a rare scenario. Mostly the questions, we do not know exactly how they will ask. We will give you the content. You have to create the answer then and there. But what I am saying is that even in GS1, you may have some input, at least in one question or two questions from Indian polity. Then if you move to GS4, GS4 means ethics. Here also you will have much input from Indian polity. And then if you come to essay, essay can be, you can say, a deal breaker. Suppose you do not score enough in essay, then it can become a problem. Because essay is a single paper, but then it gives you only 2 questions, 250 marks. You can write 2 essays 125, 125. And if you score well, then it can, shift your rank drastically up or down. So essay is also very, very important. And when you write an essay, believe me, almost on any topic, almost on any topic, if you write an essay, including an essay on God, अगर आप भगवान पर भी एक ऐसे लिख रहे हैं, मान लीजिए आ जाता है philosophical essay, there you have a scope of giving some input from Indian polity. For example, you are writing an essay on women. आप women पे essay लिख रहे हो. Even if the essay is on women, now you cannot simply keep on writing that, okay, women are very good creature, my mother is also women, my sister is also women, you should respect women, this and that. You will not get marks. You have to write a holistic answer, of course, depending upon the question. But somewhere you will have a scope of feeding the facts, the provisions of the constitution, the laws related to women. Women पर भी ऐसे लिखना है तो वहां पर लॉ के जो प्रोविजन है, जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के प्रोविजन है, वो हम यहां मेंशन कर सकते हैं जो विमेन से जुड़े हुए हैं. एंड दैट विल मेक योर एसे होलिस्टिक एसे, रिच एसे, वैल्यू एडेड एसे, एंड दैट इज मार्क्स फेचिंग. Just write a simple general answer? No, please write a value added essay, and in the value addition you can take input from the Constitution of India. संविधान क्या बोलता है विमेन के बारे में, क्या प्रोविजन दिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, देयर आर फंडामेंटल राइट्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. नाउ बोथ टॉक अबाउट द फेयर सेक्स, विमेन. So if you can relevantly add the provision in the essay, that's a value added answer and that give you more marks. उसके बाद the laws regarding women. Now Posh was in much news. I don't know in what way they will ask a question, but if you can add the provision from the law also, and they are relevant when you add them, don't add because you know them, add because when they are relevant there, that becomes a value added essay and that is a marks fetching essay. So in GS1 polity input, GS2 is all about polity, essay polity, ethics polity, and when you take your interview finally, yes, 1/3 seat reservation. See Suresh, you have got reservation for women now in the legislative bodies, but that is to be mentioned relevantly. Don't add because you know them, add because that is required there. Very good. Now you take your interview. Now let me tell you, UPSC people, the people who take your interview, they ask a question or they throw a question on you regarding Indian polity or regarding economics, and you somehow fail to answer it. They may not mind that much, but if they throw a question on you from Indian polity, governance, and you fail to answer that, they may have an instinctual reaction to create a bad impression. They feel that everybody is born with the knowledge of polity and they should know everything. Of course, they have right to feel anything because they are sitting at that side. So what I am saying is that polity is so important that they consider it to be fundamental. Any aspirant appearing for UPSC and want to become IAS should have a good control on polity. That doesn't make it more special than any other subject, but this is the general psyche which I have observed over a period of time. The modern world and its concept of society in the women. Question society पे आता है, वहाँ पर भी आप polity का input दे सकते हैं. So this was all about the importance of polity in the scheme of examination. I hope there is no question regarding this because it's completely factual information. Then, if you ask after the weightage, now I tell you the kind of questions which come in examination, the nature of questions. See, I'll give you some time also to ask questions, whatever you have. I'll give you some time. I'll give a window in that. Just till then, focus on what I'm discussing. See, this is extremely, extremely, extremely important reason. Now, suppose you have to win over somebody. It's not dark psychology what I'm discussing. It's a common sense. Suppose in your generation now, if I mean, of course there is a generational gap between you and me. If I talk in terms of Gen Z, which most of you are, if I talk in the terms of your lingo, you say dating world, no? Now you go on date. And you are dating for the first time, you are meeting the other person for the first time. Then when you meet the other person and you want to develop a good chemistry, then the common sense is that you should be able to understand what is the orientation, thinking, taste, like, dislike of the other person. Means you are trying to read the other person consciously or subconsciously. भाई जब आप किसी से मिलने जाते हो तो उसको थोड़ा तो स्टडी करते हो, उसके व्यवहार को जानने की कोशिश तो करते हो, कॉन्शियसली या सबकॉन्शियसली वो अलग बात है. And that allows you to develop a good chemistry. You read the other person. Here also, you want to develop a good chemistry with UPSC examiner. You should be able to read his mind, his likes and dislikes. You should be able to predict that this is area on which question can come in exam this year. Probable areas from which question can come in exam. If you are in a position to answer them, predict them, you are on a very strong foundation. Now you will say, how can I predict? I have not set the paper. Yes, you have not set the paper. I am not saying to predict the question. I am saying to predict the area, the topic from which question may come in this year in examination. All the topics don't reflect in the exam, but some topics reflect more than others. For that you need to know this. इस साल एग्जाम में क्या क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, क्या नहीं आ सकता. Unless I know what I am dealing with, how can I deal with that? So I need to read the psyche of the paper setter. I need to read that what kind of questions can come. Now if I ask you that in pre, which is completely objective paper, the questions which will come, they will be from the static area. Static means fixed. It is written as it is and it will not change on regular basis. It's fixed. Constitution of India is fixed. You don't amend it on daily basis. So if the question is on pre, I ask you the question. आपसे सवाल कर रहा हूं, ये जवाब आपको देना है इसमें कमेंट सेक्शन में. अगर क्वेश्चन प्री में आता है तो द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ द क्वेश्चन कमिंग फ्रॉम स्टैटिक एरिया, ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज or current affairs, which probability is more? Based on the nature of the question, I expect question from the traditional areas, fixed area, or I expect a question from current affairs in Indian polity. I am not talking about current affairs itself. I am talking about Indian polity. तो अगर Indian polity में question आता है तो वो traditional knowledge पे based होगा या current affairs पे based होगा. Please answer this question. I am waiting for your answers. Try to answer it. Is okay. Abhijit, Shubham Sharma, Aryan, Payal, Sazia. Others can also answer. Suresh, Krish, Dipanvita, Ansh. All are giving the same answer. Naina, Mohini, very good. Naina again. Mona Sharon, Rajalakshmi, Agar Vedant, Debjan, they. See, there are many people who are answering and the scrolling is going very fast. Khushi, Niyati Sharma, Isha. I may not be able to read everybody's name. Vicky, Ruchi, Christina, Ayush, Nikita, Kishore. I'm very, very happy that so many people are answering and most of the answers are correct. Mahinder Kaur, Piyush Singh, Kishore Mehta. Very good, Nikita. This is extremely good and encouraging for me also. Nadira. Questions will primarily be based on static knowledge, primarily, majorly, mainly. And if the question is related to current affairs, then it is a current affairs का question. मैं अगर पॉलिटी की बात कर रहा हूं, वो जो 10 से 24 क्वेश्चन की मैंने बात की थी, वो स्टैटिक एरिया से आएंगे, फिक्स्ड एरिया से आएंगे, एंड दैट विल बी डेल्ट प्राइमरली इन द क्लास थ्रू क्लास नोट्स. आई गिव एन एग्जांपल. मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं. फॉर एग्जांपल, द क्वेश्चन केम ऑन गवर्नर and the question is on governor and the question came in pre. For example, this is a statement and he is asking you, can governor pardon? And you have to tell, it's a question in pre. Let's say I have simplified it. It's not of course the exact format of the questions. I have simplified it. But suppose if the question comes this way, that can governor pardon? Is it a current affairs question? No. It's a fixed question, traditional knowledge. Knowledge is given in the class. You simply have to answer in examination. ये static portion है. This is a question based on static knowledge. This information will not change on daily basis or monthly basis, or it will not keep on fluctuating. Either he can pardon or he cannot pardon. See, Suresh, what is the meaning of pardon? See, again I said, no, I am not teaching you, I am giving you an orientation. Real teaching will start after half an hour. So, can governor pardon? Vicky Sharma, no. Isha, no. Please answer. Answering will not cost anything. Hitler, इनका नाम है. Static. Can governor pardon? अब आपको आंसर नहीं भी पता, कोई दिक्कत की बात नहीं है. At least say yes or no. How does it make a difference? Vedant. Now this question can come in examination. Piyush, Vikas, Payal, Nikita, Jansi, Aryan, Abhijit, Krish, Mohini, Domish, Sazia, Hitler again, Kumar, Ruchi Yadav. Most of you, Shubham Sharma, K. Priyansh, Dipanvita, Khushi. No, most of you are saying no. Answer is yes. Shan Kareem, Shubham Sharma. Answer is yes. Raj Lakshmi, no. See, governor can pardon, of course. But my point is not to check whether you know about governor or not. My point is to tell you that this information is a fixed information, traditional information, and that information will be shared in the class. You have to simply attempt in the examination. Governor can pardon. अगर यही क्वेश्चन आ जाए कि can governor pardon death? Now the answer is no. But अगर death नहीं है, simply ये पूछा है can governor pardon? Answer है yes. डेथ पार्डन नहीं कर सकता, लाइफ सेंटेंस है या कोई और है तो पार्डन कर सकता है. खैर एनीवेज, मैंने बोला मैं पढ़ा नहीं रहा हूं आपको ना, नेचर ऑफ क्वेश्चन बता रहा हूं. या फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से ही कैन आस्क यू द क्वेश्चन दैट फॉर एग्जांपल Pre again he can ask you such question and such questions have come in exam already. ये क्वेश्चन इस तरह के आ भी चुके एग्जाम में. माना दोबारा आ जाता है कि भारत सेक्युलर और सोशलिस्ट कब बना था, विच डेट? कैन यू टेल मी द डेट एंड व्हेन इंडिया बिकेम सेक्युलर एंड सोशलिस्ट? प्लीज आंसर. शान करीम, पीयूष, सी सुरेश, मोना, शरण, कमल, किरण, Aryan Badal, Vikas Tiwari, Kishore Mehta. Now I knew what the answer will be. Abhijit C. Suresh. I knew the answer. Shubham Sharma. Most of you, I knew what the answer will be. Domish. Ruchi Yadav. Samreen Sheikh, Piyush, Aditi, Sazia, Khushi. Payal, Mohammad Arif Khan. Now I knew, Nikita, I knew that most of you will say that it was in 1976. सूर्य राज, गौतम. ऐसा क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में ऑलरेडी आ चुका है प्री के अंदर, दोबारा भी आ सकता है. आर्यदीप, आर एम, ऋतुपर्णा, विकी, पायल, आर्यदीप, सी सुरेश, विजय भार्गव, मोना, नयना. सी, you say that India became socialist secular because by 42nd Amendment Act, these two words were added in the preamble. So you think that India became socialist and secular in 76? No, sir. India was socialist and secular since the very beginning of the Constitution of India. जब से संविधान एनफोर्स हुआ है तब से भारत सेक्युलर और सोशलिस्ट रहा है. Preamble does not make India socialist secular. Indira Gandhi did not make India socialist or secular. It was secular, it was socialist from the very beginning because of right to religion. Example. अब अगर आप कहते हो भाई इंडिया सेक्युलर है, तो इंडिया को सेक्युलर बनाता है राइट टू इक्वालिटी, राइट अगेंस्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, राइट टू रिलीजन. और वो तो शुरू से थे, एवर सिंस बिगिनिंग. Yes, we declared it in 76. वो एक अलग बात है. Now, again, as I said, I'm not teaching you secularism. My point is to tell you that such questions can come in exam, which can be little confusing. As you got confused here when I asked the question. Sindhu, Shivani, Abhijit. आपको भी थोड़ा सा चक्कर में थोड़ी देर के लिए डले ना आप लोग. And I can make more difficult questions which can come in exam of similar nature, which can be little bit confusing. One word here and there and the meaning will change. But to answer them, all you need to know is the static part, the fixed part of Indian polity. And where will you get it? You will get this in the class. ये आपको मिलेगा क्लास में. That will be shared in the class. And if you say that there is a question in pre on current affairs, then my dear, it is a question on current affairs. There is a new law. Let's say he asks a question regarding Waqf Amendment Act. So that's a question on Waqf Amendment Act, current affairs. Now say hardcore polity में गिनी नहीं रहा. Anyways, now if I go to mains, what is the nature of question in mains? Is it based on static knowledge, fixed knowledge, or is it based on current affairs? Let me tell you. Can you answer this? Mains में अगर question आएगा तो static knowledge से आएगा, current affairs से आएगा, या दोनों का mix आएगा? See, when you answer na, even if it's wrong answer, confidence will build up, and this whole game is about confidence. So do answer even if it's wrong. If I don't read your name, doesn't make a difference. Oh sorry sir, my name is Abhijit. Oh sorry. मैं अभिजीत बोल देता हूँ. Okay. Yes, Samrik Sheikh, Surya, Mona, Debanjana Day, Piyush, Amrita, Nikit, Jensi, Kishore, Rakshita, Dipanvita Mehti, Krish B, Hitler, Aryan, Naina. Very good. Mix. Now that means that you have already been through the kind of questions which come in exam. This shows the level of seriousness. Priya Das, Lalman Lal, Reshma, Payal. देखिए साहब, क्वेश्चन आएगा and or current affairs based. देखिए, suppose this year, the last mains, the question came on द पावर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट। तो उसने क्वेश्चन पूछा था, एक ही क्वेश्चन में तीनों बात पूछ ली थी कि कंपेयर द पार्डनिंग पावर्स ऑफ इंडियन एंड अमेरिकन प्रेसिडेंट, what are the limits on those powers and what is preemptive power? Now, if you see, this question is largely from static area because this will be given in the class. But here there is one thing which came from current affairs, and that is the preemptive power. Now, preemptive power normally is not taught in the class, but it was taught in the class if you were taught in the very beginning of 2025. प्रीएम्प्टिव पावर नॉर्मली हम लोग नहीं पढ़ाते थे 2025 से पहले, बट 2025 में प्रीएम्प्टिव पावर न्यूज में आया, हमने भी पढ़ाया, एग्जाम में भी आया. Preemptive power is primarily driven from current affairs. Now, Joe Biden, he used them. Joe Biden, he used these powers. So, something in current affairs can directly come in exam, and this is a combination of static knowledge and current affairs. Or he has asked a question regarding corrupt practices under Representation of People Act. That already I have made a video because that came in the news. So I made a YouTube video on that, the corrupt practices on Representation of People Act. Believe me, as it is, it came in an examination, and that was 90% taken from current information. This was current affairs inspired paper question. Sorry, corrupt practices in election. Election में corrupt practice क्या होती है? And that was to be answered keeping in mind the recent instances. Simple moral of the story is, if you want to score high in mains, you cannot do unless that is strong with you. What? Current affairs. अगर आपको अपना मेंस स्कोर अच्छा लाना है तो करंट अफेयर्स आपका स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मेंस में जो क्वेश्चन आएंगे दैट विल बी अ मिक्स ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज on which you build upon using the current information. So it's a mixture of both traditional and current affairs. You cannot afford to know the current affairs, that to the analysis detail, not simply the headlines. And that can be taken care of through various sources which I will discuss now. Now, do you want to ask me anything regarding the nature of the questions in pre or mains before I proceed further? Any doubt you want to clarify? Normally, static alone also questions can be asked, like he has already asked on various occasions. But even when you answer the question from the static area, you have to give input from current affairs. अभी अगर उसने सेक्युलरिज्म पे भी क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया कि व्हाट इज द मॉडल ऑफ सेक्युलरिज्म विच वी फॉलो इन इंडिया, इंडिया में हम कौन सा सेक्युलरिज्म फॉलो करते हैं, मान लो ये क्वेश्चन आ गया, स्टैटिक है, यू कैन नॉट आंसर इट unless you add the recent instances where secularism was practiced, where secularism was hurt. Unless you give input from current affairs, you cannot score, even if the question is static based. Now see, there is a question, very good question, Domish. Now he says that, sir, I have read on pardoning power of the Indian president, but how can I tackle the American president? Now he's very logical in this. He says that when I come to the class and I take the notes, that's a problem with us also. We can teach you about the pardoning powers of Indian president, but if he asks about American president, how can I take care of that? That answer I will give you just now, थोड़ी देर में. See, now it's a very good question that, sir, I can prepare myself for Indian president. How can I prepare myself for American or the French one or the German one? चलो यहाँ तो American बता दिया उन्होंने. America we also teach in the class. What about if he asks about French? What about he's talking about Japanese? Then, now let me tell you here one thing very, very important. In Hindi as well as in English. Now here let me clarify one thing also. Let me be very, very clear with all of you that my intention here is to touch or read or reach your mind as well as heart. That is my intention. Once the class is over, you should be able to feel that yes, I am comfortable. And for that, if I have to repeat the same thing in Hindi also a bit, then be open to that much of adaptability. Believe me, nothing will be left out when I speak little of Hindi also. What I do, I repeat the same thing in both the languages. So if I suppose clarify in English, and for the convenience of other students also I use a bit of Hindi, then feel no offense, rather be open to that, because I want to touch each and every student that way, and language should not become a barrier. English will be primary, 98%. अब देखो, now suppose they talk about the pardoning power of the president. Now we will teach you in the class, and this is a part of syllabus also. This is given in the syllabus, comparison of the Indian constitution with other constitution. Now we don't have that much time, we don't have that much energy that we keep on comparing Indian constitution with every constitution of the world. But if it was in news, then you got a hint that this can come in exam, and then you can prepare yourself. And even for that, the job is being done by people who are writing the newspaper, current affairs magazine or the newspaper. For example, if you talk about this question, compare the pardoning power of Indian president with American president, and what is preemptive pardon. This was completely covered in one editorial, one single editorial of Indian Express somewhere in December 2024. I'll come to that part also now. What I'm saying is that such questions where you have to compare Indian constitution with other constitution, ऐसे तो पागल हो जाएंगे अगर सारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ेंगे तो, जर्मनी का भी पढ़ लो, फ्रांस का भी पढ़ लो, इंग्लिश का. So wherever comparison is required, it will be in news, my dear friends. So if you are reading the paper very carefully, regularly, your life will be very easy in mains. He will not pick up any random question. He will pick up those things which were in the news. This question came in the newspaper multiple times. December 2024, this came in Hindu, Indian Express. January 2025, this came in Hindu, Indian Express. As it is copy paste from Indian Express. So if you are doing good in the newspaper, you can do well in mains. And that allows me to reach to the second point, which is the resources. From where to read. Right? अब रिसोर्स पढ़ना कहाँ से है? दिस इज द मोस्ट क्रूशियल थिंग. सारे लोगों का इंटरेस्ट इसी में होता है. पढ़ना कहाँ से? फ्रॉम वेयर टू स्टडी. What do you think is the biggest or the most reliable source for your pre-exam? If you can attempt to answer. लाल मोनलन, KS प्रियंका, शुभम, अभिजीता, इस बार सही बोला है मैंने. मोना, विघर्ष, नियति, आयुष, very good. Piyush, all of them are giving answers and I'm very, very obliged in fact. Domish, Payal, Dipanvita, Rakshita, Vedant. Most of you are saying Lakshmikant, 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 Lakshmikant. Lakshmi is good. Vishnu standing in front of you. So if you believe me, the primary source should be the class notes. Today I am saying this. After the course is over, you yourself will say that class notes along with the class explanation which I give in elaborate way should be the primary source. Up to you. I can only suggest कि class notes से जो explanation आपको मिलेगी, I'll explain secularism for almost 45 minutes. Lakshmikant has given secularism, let's say in half a page. There is no comparison. Lakshmikant is a good, very good, extremely good compilation of information. But just information is not enough. Reading between the lines, understanding the concept, feel the concept, that feel will come through class notes. So class notes I suggest should be the primary source. बाकी आपकी इच्छा है. Secondly, to supplement the class notes, for example, I take president. Now I cannot give you the whole timeline that when was the first president, who was the first president, second, third, fourth, when did they enter the office. These factual things, or which are all the subjects of schedule 7. I cannot dictate in the class, it's impossible. For that factual part, you can supplement that from Lakshmikant. Indian Polity. But let me tell you, primarily Lakshmikant may not help, rather it becomes difficult. And then there are people who can think NCERT kare ki na kare. Now here also, if you go for that Pinnacle 360, NCERT classes are covered there also. If you want to read NCERT on your own, you can read, no problem. There is a particular NCERT which is Indian Constitution at Work. You can read that. Class 11th. Indian Constitution at Work, you can read that for class 11th. But if you are coming to the class regularly, let me tell you, you don't even need NCERT. क्योंकि जो NCERT बताएगा वो मैं भी क्लास में बता दूंगा आपको. Whatever they will tell you in NCERT, they will, whatever you read there in NCERT, that will be discussed in the class also. But anyways, I don't stop you from reading NCERTs. Personally, I feel if you have limited time, you can skip reading NCERT also. Lecture कहीं से मिल रहे हैं आप देख लो, कोई टेंशन की बात नहीं. Yes, now read either Lakshmikant, either you read Lakshmikant or the books given by the institute. या तो लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ लीजिए या PW book on polity which they have given you. Don't read both. Read one of it. Either you read this or you read that. Do not even try to read both. But this is indispensable. इसे तो करना ही करना है. इनमें से कोई एक किताब पढ़ लीजिए, ये आपकी इच्छा है, क्योंकि इतना टाइम नहीं. We are here not to study only Indian polity. We have to study history also, geography also, economics also. So we have to balance the time also. Then how to go for mains? Mains के resource क्या है? Can you please tell me what can be the biggest resource for your mains exam? Polity. Yes, I said na, PW book or Lakshmikant, one of it. Can you tell me what is the biggest source of preparation for your mains exam? मेंस में क्या सबसे बड़ा अच्छा सोर्स क्या हो सकता है? वेरी गुड. प्रियंका, अमृता, अभिजीता, शुभम, क्रिश, मोना, शारन, वो ऑलमोस्ट द सेम आंसर. अदिति, दीपान्विता अगेन, लिखाना, अखूला, सी सुरेश, अनीश गुप्ता, वेदांत, निकिता, पीयूष, विकी शर्मा. सर, current information taken from newspaper and or the monthly current affairs magazine. अगर आपने सिर्फ ये भी पढ़ लिया ना प्री क्लियर करने के बाद, आफ्टर क्लियरिंग प्री, if you read this only, it can also get you through, because they cover traditional part also in a way. Let me tell you, whatever question they ask, somehow that was in news. They don't pick random question and throw on you. जो भी सवाल बोलेगा कहीं ना कहीं वो न्यूज में था, इसलिए उसने आपसे पूछा है, ऐसे अचानक से नहीं पूछ लेगा. तो करंट इंफॉर्मेशन प्राइमरी है. करंट इंफॉर्मेशन कैन बी टेकन फ्रॉम न्यूज़पेपर एंड और द मंथली मैगजीन which is given to you by institute. They are giving you monthly current affairs magazine, वो आप पढ़िए, साथ में पेपर भी है, and then class notes. That is sufficient. Lakshmikant will not help you much in mains. First of all, it will not give you much explanation. Secondly, current affairs will not be there in Lakshmikant, mixed with the traditional part. तो आप इतना कर लेते हैं तो सफिशिएंट हो जाता है. द क्वेश्चन इज दैट विच पेपर टू रीड. पेपर कौन सा पढ़ना है? आई फील यू कैन रीड इंडियन एक्सप्रेस और द हिंदू, but do not read both the papers. And even if you have to read both the papers, don't read it from the beginning till end. Read particular selected topics. For example, there is a section in Express and Hindu, you call it explained. Now if you have read this, let me tell you, and over to that, if you have gone through the editorials, only explained and editorials, if you have done thoroughly and rigorously, then you become so dangerous for mains. I don't know what score you will get, but I know you will be doing well. Monthly magazine तो है ही. You can read only monthly magazine also. It's up to you. If you don't find time to read the paper, it's up to you. I personally cannot afford to leave the paper. I read monthly magazine. I may not understand completely. Reason? Monthly magazine is covering the content in limited pages, whereas newspaper gives elaboration. उनको पेज का स्पेस की कोई लिमिटेशन तो है नहीं, समझा रहे हैं डिटेल में. I feel detail sometimes is more reliable than the summary. But then suppose one day you miss the paper, then magazine will be helpful there. So try to mix both. If you find it very difficult, then you can read only magazine, because that is also taken from various sources and there's a whole team working on it. That will take care of the current affairs. See, Times of India and all, some selective topics may be good, but you don't have that much time that you can go through these many papers. So you have to be selective, you have to be smart what to read and what not to read. So don't see, as I say that, don't read 30 books. Read single book 30 times. Because every time you read the book, a new insight will come. You are reading the same book, but reading it again and again and again will give you a new insight. So don't read many books, read single book multiple times. But that single book should be reliable enough. Sir, which paper should we read in Hindi? Ayush Pandey. भाई हिंदी का पेपर क्यों पढ़ोगे? Why to read paper in Hindi? दैनिक जागरण. No, don't have to read it. So do we need to make notes on current affairs? Yes. See, now this is the last part I am covering and then I'll start the class. See, if you have to make the notes, personally I feel you should make your personal notes on current issues. One thing is that you read the newspaper, will only PW magazine work? Yes, I said that if you don't find time for the whole newspaper thing, then don't worry. Even relying upon magazine can work. There have been so many people who have never read the paper properly and they have made it. So that's not a rule that if you don't read the paper it will not help you out. No. Rather, for some people it's a good strategy. They leave the paper, they save time, and that time they can. But my point is that somehow, somewhere, if the magazine is able to give you 80% clarity, then the remaining 20% you can work upon through Google also. Self work is also important. This is the moral of the story, which I am covering now. Anyways, try to make your own personal notes also. See, reading the magazine is okay, but after that, suppose while I make a note in the magazine, I write Schedule 5, but you don't know what Schedule 5 is. I give you two-liner explanation also, but that may not be enough. You want more. That more can come from, you can take your own efforts and you can Google it. देखो Schedule 5 क्या है, न्यूज में क्यों था. Make your own notes, and those notes should be 360 degree, means covering all the relevant aspects or angles of that issue. And please do not make your notes date wise. Make notes topic wise. Current affairs के जो topic wise notes बनाओ. For example, you have a register in which you have made the notes on current affairs. Divide the register. Dedicate some pages to the news coming on president, some pages on governor, some pages on judiciary, some pages on federalism, some pages on elections. The news came about judicial appointment. You write here. Then after 20 days, some news came about corruption in judiciary. Right. Then the news came about accountability on judges. Right in the same section. Then some news came regarding reforms in the judiciary. Right in the same place. So whatever came regarding judiciary, that should be compiled at one place, so that if the examiner makes a question which requires a combination input of the issue of accountability, appointment, corruption and reform, अगर क्वेश्चन ऐसा है जिसमें इन चारों की इनपुट की जरूरत थी, तो वो चारों चीजें आपको एक ही जगह मिल जाएंगी एंड यू कैन मेक अ गुड आंसर. there's a problem with the board, ये अपने आप गायब हो जा रहा है. You can make a very good answer if you compile them at one place, because brain can recall information if information is at one place only rather than scattered all across. Ab judiciary, let him ask any damn question on judiciary. I have every information with me. Let him ask it. I'll mix and match and present a good, relevant, value added answer. Regarding judgments, judgments will also be covered in this section only. So what I'm saying again, the same thing is that make your own notes either from the newspaper, either from monthly magazine, or both. Hopefully on the first day, whatever I shared with you is more than required and more than enough. Now can I start with the concept? Can I start with the concept now? Any question you want to ask? When to start current affairs? How many years? See, this is a good question. Krish, he says when to start current affairs. Now suppose you want to take the exam. You want to take the exam next to next year. Means you want to take the exam in 2027, right? So you want to take the exam in May 2027 example. So right now this is a good time, because even in pre or in mains there is no restriction that he cannot go beyond 1 year. Now let's say the exam you are writing is in August 2027, means examiner is not bound to ask you only those things which happened in the last 1 year. उसके लिए कोई बाउंडेशन थोड़ी ना, सरकार ने कोई नोटिफिकेशन थोड़ी ना निकाला है कि इतना ही पढ़ना है. He can ask you something which relates to the news which came in the newspaper in December 2025 also, because somehow this news kept on reflecting all through in various forms in this time period. So in a way you should cover minimum 1 year current affairs, and you should go beyond. I mean if you can, you should try to cover at least 1.5 साल का current affairs. So 1.5 years before you take the actual exam, you can take care of your current affairs, but minimum 1 year तो is must. अभी अगर आपको मई 2027 में पेपर देना है, then whatever happened from March 2026 onwards till April 2027, this is indispensable, this is must. ये जरूरी है. And if you can read something beyond, I mean previous to that also, 5-6 months previous to that, that is most welcome if you can do that. So hopefully most of your questions and doubts have been answered now, and let's start with the concept, the very important and basic concept. And when I say basic, doesn't mean that it's just for time pass. Every word, every line I'll discuss in the class can come in the examination, directly or indirectly. I may say this in a very lighter way, but you should take it in a very serious way. Concept हो सकता है मैं थोड़ा ह्यूमर के साथ डिलीवर कर दूं, मगर आपको उसको सीरियस एंगल में भी देखना है. Every word is exam oriented, every line is exam oriented, right? Let's start it. देखिए, it's almost lunch time now, so let's draw something that is an edible item. I am delivering a concept as I said that I have learned calligraphy and modern art in California. California से calligraphy सीख के आया मेरा दोस्त. And I have tried to draw something. I don't know what you understand, but I have drawn something according to my understanding. This is something edible. आपको क्या लग रहा है पता नहीं, मगर मैंने अंडे बनाने की कोशिश करी है. My effort, my intention was to draw eggs. And now when I say eggs, lunchtime hai, when I say eggs, if you have eggs, then you surely have to have that also. Without that, eggs cannot be there. What? Hen. अगर हाँ बिल्कुल अंडे हैं सर, बिल्कुल सही पहचाना. सारे लंच टाइम में भूखे बैठे हुए अंडे है, बिल्कुल सही बात है. नाउ इफ यू हैव एग्स देन यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड नॉट टू हैव दैट. क्या? हेन. भाई अंडे है तो मुर्गी तो होगी. अब मैं बनाता हूं मुर्गी. अब पता नहीं आपको ये मुर्गी जैसे दिखेगी या नहीं दिखेगी, बट मैंने बनाई मुर्गी है. इंटेंशन इज टू मेक अ हेन. इट मे अपीयर लाइक अ डव, बट मैंने बोला ना मॉडर्न आर्ट मैंने कैलिफोर्निया से सीखी है, तो वहां पर मुर्गी ऐसी बनाते हैं. नाउ दिस इज हेन एंड दिस इज एग्स. नाउ आई नेम दीज एग्स. इन अंडों का नाम रख देते हैं, राइट. लेट्स कॉल देम रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट 1950. अंडा नंबर 1, इसका नाम रख दिया इंडियन सिटीजनशिप एक्ट 1955. हिंदू मैरिज एक्ट 1955. राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट 2005. Right to Education Act 2009. Armed Forces Special Power Act 1958. Motor Vehicle Act. Now I have named the acts. 51 भी लिख देते हैं. Representation of People Act 1951 लिख दिए सारे नाम. Now I have named these acts. Representation of People Act 1950, Indian Citizenship Act 55, Hindu Marriage Act 55, RTI Act 2005, Armed Forces Special Power Act, Right to Education Act, Motor Vehicle Act, Representation of People Act, Muslim Women Protection on Divorce Act. अलग अलग laws है, and I call these laws as the baby laws. Baby means the offspring, the baby, outcome. Now if these eggs represent the laws made by the parliament, baby laws, there must be some mother law. Some mother law should be there, due to which all these laws came into existence. भाई अगर ये अंडे हैं तो मुर्गी भी तो होगी. अगर ये बेबी लॉ है तो एक मदर लॉ भी तो होगा, और वो मदर लॉ ये है. दिस इज दैट मदर लॉ due to which we got all these baby laws. These are the laws of the country. This is the mother law of the country which has given birth to all these laws. My straight simple question to you is, what is the name of the mother law due to which we got all these laws in India? इस मदर लॉ का नाम क्या है? गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935. ओके. वेदांत अभिजीता, व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द मदर लॉ? मुर्गी का नाम क्या है? जवाब दो सर, जवाब दो, कोई मुश्किल सवाल नहीं है ये। व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द मदर लॉ? सबसे बड़े कानून का नाम क्या है जिसकी वजह से ये सारे बच्चे कानून पैदा हुए, सारे बेबी लॉ पैदा हुए? बहुत ही बढ़िया। साजिया, मोना, मोहिनी, विकी, आर्यन, पीयूष, अदिति, अनीश, डोमिश, extremely well answered. Gaurav, sir, the mother law, Aryan, the source law, while this source law is none other than the constitution of the country. Rajlakshmi, Kishore, Samreen, sir, किसी भी देश का संविधान वहां का सबसे बड़ा कानून होता है, बाकी सारे कानून उसके हिसाब से बनाए जाते हैं। ईशा, फॉर एनी कंट्री कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज द मदर लॉ, प्राइमरी लॉ, सुप्रीम लॉ, फर्स्ट लॉ, every other law comes after the mother law, is made according to mother law, is the outcome of the mother law. Law of the land clear हो गया। अंश, शान, गौतम, बहुत बढ़िया। My next question to you is that if you see, I have put here dates. ये डेट डाली है, डेट डाली है, डेट डाली है, डेट डाली है, डेट मतलब ईयर तो डाल ही दिया कम से कम। I ask you a small question. What is the date of birth of this mother law in the case of India? What is the date of birth of the mother law, the biggest law, or the Constitution of India? Supreme law, Vedant. Yes. भारत के संविधान का डेट ऑफ बर्थ क्या है? किस दिन इस मुर्गी का जन्म हुआ? ये इस मुर्गी को खाना नहीं है, सिर्फ पैदा होगी। क्रिश, आर्यन, अच्छा, यू गाइस कैन सी ईच अदर चैट और नॉट? आप लोग एक दूसरे की चैट देख पा रहे हैं, नहीं देख पा रहे? ईशा, विकी, विजय, दोमिश, रक्षिता, रसाजिया, गौरव, आयुष, पायल, शुभम, अनीश, अगेन आर्यदीप, वेरी गुड, समरीन, जेंसी, मोना, विकी, all of you are giving answers, Raj Lakshmi, and different answers. Mohini, Sazia again, C, Suresh, Shan, Kareem, Ansh, everybody is giving a unique answer. You can say some are writing 48, 49, 50, सबके अपने अपने आंसर है। सूर्य, राज, the correct answer is the Constitution was born on 26th November 1949. This is the date of birth of the mother law, the biggest law of this country, which is the Constitution. नादिरा, बिल्कुल सही जवाब है। 26 नवंबर 1949 को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया वॉज एनेक्टेड एंड अडॉप्टेड। भारत का संविधान 26 नवंबर को बना था और उस दिन अप्रूव भी हो गया था। बट दिस मदर वॉज बोर्न ऑन 26 November 49. I'll explain eventually. See, it's only the very, very beginning. We have a long distance to cover. Eventually, I'll ensure that by the end of the course, you have a grip on all the concepts as much as possible. तो आज तो शुरुआत है, repeatedly I'll keep on clarifying the concepts. But just go with the flow, go with me. 26 नवंबर 1949 को ये बच्चा पैदा हुआ and 26 January 50, this baby started to walk. Mother law started to walk. Enforcement was on 26 January 50. Implementation was on 26 January 50. But Constitution of India was made on 26 November 1949. ठीक है? अब I am very, very clear that this is the year when this mother law was made, and these are the years when the baby laws are made. Mother, baby, mother, baby. Mother has an age, baby has an age. I want to ask you, logically to baby must be born after mother is born. भाई लॉजिकली तो बच्चे की उम्र माँ से कम होगी और माँ की ज्यादा होगी बच्चे से. Is it possible that the age of mother is less than the age of baby? उल्टा कर देता हूं. Is it possible that the age of the baby is more than the age of mother? Yes or no? Is it possible that the age of a baby is more than the age of mother? बच्चे की उम्र माँ से ज्यादा, ये पॉसिबल है? तो सारे लिख रहे हैं यस. अब सबने आंसर चेंज, अब सब लिख रहे हैं नो. क्रिस्टीना, प्रियदास, राधे, Gaurav, Domish, Raj Lakshmi. Most of you are saying no. Some of you are saying yes. The answer is yes. I'll explain. If you have seen the movie Devdas, Devdas, who was playing the role of Paro? Aishwarya Rai. If I am the mother, of course my biological children will be younger to me because they were born after I was born. But what about the children whom I adopted? Devdas, Paro age was lesser than the age of her adopted children or stepchildren. उनकी हस्बैंड की पहले शादी हो रखी थी, बच्चे पहले हो रखे थे, बच्चे मां से भी बड़े उम्र में. If I have adopted a child, possibly the child age may be more than mine age. It's very possible. But that is only when I adopt them, I approve them, I legitimize them. Otherwise not. And the same thing applies here also. Before Indian Constitution was created, which was in the year 1949, much before that, the British made certain laws in India, and those laws existed in India even today. अंग्रेजों ने कहीं पहले कुछ ऐसे लॉ बनाए जो भारत में आज तक चल रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन लॉज को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने अप्रूव कर दिया, अडॉप्ट कर लिया, एक्सेप्ट कर लिया. Certain laws were made by the British long ago, long before Constitution was created, and they exist even today. And the reason is that those laws have been approved, accepted, adopted by the mother, which is the Constitution. I give an example. Indian Penal Code, which now has been replaced by BNS, वो अलग बात है, मगर normally the base is still there. Indian Penal Code 1860. Indian Evidence Act 1872. Official Secrets Act, Official Secret Act 1923. These laws were made much before Constitution was made, and they still exist in India in a different way. They still exist in India because these are not the biological children of Constitution. They are not the direct outcome of the Constitution, but they have been accepted, approved, adopted by the Constitution, and thus this adoption, this approval has allowed these laws to exist even today. ये लॉ आज भी इंडिया में है क्योंकि संविधान ने उनको अप्रूव किया है, क्योंकि संविधान सबसे बड़ा कानून है. वो जिस भी कानून को जन्म देगा वो लीगल हो जाएगा. Constitution is the mother law of the land, and if it gives birth to any other law, that is okay. If it allows any law, that is allowed. Now here I stop for a second and I ask you a question, a very legitimate and interesting and important question. एक सवाल पूछना, जवाब देना आप लोग. सर मेरा नाम है एंथनी गोंजाल्विस। माय नेम इज आशीष कुमार। देखिए, प्लीज नेम एनी वन लॉ, किसी एक ऐसे कानून का नाम बताओ which is violating the Constitution of India, but that law is legally valid, that law is allowed in India. किसी भी लॉ का नाम ले सकते हो आप, यू आर फ्री टू आंसर। डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में यही तो मजेदार बात है, हम कुछ भी जवाब दे सकते हैं विदाउट एनी काइंड ऑफ प्रेशर। अच्छी बात है। प्लीज आंसर मी, नेम एनी वन लॉ which violates, which contradicts the Constitution, but that is legally allowed in India. ऐसे किसी एक कानून का नाम बताइए जो संविधान का वायलेशन तो कर रहा है मगर वो लीगली अलाउड है। ओके, रिजर्वेशन। और कुछ? विकास तिवारी, ईशा, गौमिश। चलो, रिजर्वेशन की अगर आप बात करते हो, आप कहते हो कि भाई रिजर्वेशन जो है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का वायलेशन कर रहा है। रिजर्वेशन इज डायरेक्टली अलाउड अंडर इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। अगर आप देखते हैं तो आर्टिकल 14, आर्टिकल 15, आर्टिकल 16 दे आर अलाउइंग फॉर द रिजर्वेशन। मैं आपको समझाता हूं, आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल दैट विल मेक द जॉब इजियर एंड बेटर क्लैरिटी ऑल्सो। देखिए, ऐसा कौन सा कानून है जो संविधान का वायलेशन तो कर रहा है मगर वो लीगली अलाउड भी है? नाउ ही सेज इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड स्कीम। सर, कोर्ट फाउंड दैट इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड स्कीम is violating the freedom of speech and expression because people have right to know. तो ये स्पीच एंड एक्सप्रेशन का वायलेशन कर रहा है, इक्वालिटी का वायलेशन कर रहा है। So when it was found that this law was violating certain provisions of the Constitution, this was declared unconstitutional and now removed. उसे हटा दिया। Second one, if they're allowing and also saying everyone is equal before law, isn't it sarcastic? देखो, reservation is a very, you can say, controversial thing because it benefits many but it hurts the interest of many. I completely agree with you. But here we have not to stand as an individual, we have to see things as an aspirant of UPSC. So we have to rationalize those things which cannot be opposed in the paper. Personally, you may not like them, but in exam, we have to have some reason to just justify them, and those reasons, if you see from the perspective of other person, to some level is right also. मैं ये नहीं कहता कि देखो, काफी लोग ऐसे हैं जो सिस्टम का मिसयूज कर रहे हैं। पूजा खेड़कर क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल, और पूजा खेड़कर तो सिंबॉलिक है। ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो उनके से जैसे उनके ज्यादा कलाकार हैं, और वो पूजा खेड़कर तो चलो फिर भी अरेस्ट तो क्या नहीं हुई, मैं सिस्टम से बाहर हो गई। बाकी तो कई ऐसे लोग हैं सिस्टम में है ऑलरेडी एंड दे आर मिसयूजिंग द सिस्टम। झूठे सर्टिफिकेट बना रखे हैं, बहुत कुछ है। बट वी हैव नॉट टू से दैट व्हाट इज अलाउड इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज रॉन्ग, because there's a reason behind it and I'll explain you the reason when I take preamble. डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन दूंगा आपको तब इस बारे में। देखिए, ये बता दिया मैंने आपको सेम सेक्स मैरिज। अब एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल ले लीजिए, मान लीजिए As of now, this doesn't exist because now the law has been replaced by BNS. But the case is very, very important, very, very, very important. If you write something about the rights of the people of the same, you can say LGBT community, or your right also, then you cannot afford to leave this particular case. And that case was Navtej Singh Johar case, 2018. Now, as I said, I'm just giving a just priming you with the basic concept. Eventually, as we proceed further, I'll give you more explanations. Here, there was a law which you called as Section 377 of IPC, and that law used to punish certain kind of sexual orientation, sexual behavior. And this law punished same-sex relationship also. Means if somebody was found to be a gay or a lesbian, that relationship either between, anybody, even if it is between two adults, was a punishable offense under the law. तो ये कानून था जो बोलता था कि अगर दो लोग जो सेम सेक्स रिलेशन में हैं, भले वो एडल्ट हो, उन्हें सजा मिलेगी. So this law criminalized same-sex behavior. Navtej Singh Johar case, Supreme Court said that when you punish somebody for their sexual orientation, you are violating his or her fundamental right. अभी मैं आपसे ये बात पूछूं कि सेम सेक्स रिलेशन नेचुरल और अननेचुरल, तो क्या बोलोगे आप? मतलब व्हाट इज योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि सेम सेक्स रिलेशनशिप नेचुरल है कि अननेचुरल है? Most of your writing unnatural. Most of your writing unnatural. Now again, this is something which is a kind of subjective thing, because you see, you don't choose to become a gay or a heterosexual person. Now I'm not justifying thing. ये मैं समझ लेना कि मैं अपनी sexual preference की बात कर रहा हूँ. लॉजिक लगा के देखो, जो कोर्ट ने लगाया है वो ये है, nobody decides one day that okay, I want to be a gay or I want to be a lesbian or I want to be heterosexual. Now when we were born, when we grew up, hormonal changes came and eventually we got fascinated by opposite sex. Normally maximum लोगों में यही होता है ना, जैसे आप बड़े होते हो, by the age of 8, 9, 10 एक इन्फेचुएशन सी आने लग जाती है अपोजिट सेक्स के लिए. अब क्या वो हम लेके आते हैं या कोई गोली खाते हैं? नहीं, अपने आप आती है ना. Possibly that same feeling will come on those people naturally, and what comes from inside is natural. You have not taken any course or you have not taken any kind of a course where you feel that okay, I want to be a same sex person. That is your sexual orientation. And now, to fulfill your sexual orientation, you want to choose a sexual partner. Choosing a sexual partner with consent or adult is your fundamental right under Article 21, under Article 19. The court says that when you criminalize same-sex behavior, this is the law. This violates right to life and liberty and right to privacy. आपका जो right to liberty है, right to life and liberty है, वो violate होता है. क्यों? क्योंकि कोर्ट कहता है कि right to life के अंदर you have a right to choose your own sexual partner, whether from the same sex or opposite sex, वो आपकी इच्छा है. So this law, which was violating the fundamental rights of the constitution, was declared unconstitutional and therefore removed from the statute. हाँ, depression से भी no doubt sexual orientation can change, but that is a different thing. Again, depression, you don't invite depression, you don't take a course to be depressed. That is all. I mean whatever is happening, it's happening naturally. तो जो अंदर से हो रहा है वो नेचुरल है. खैर देखो, मैंने बोला ना सही गलत तो मुझे नहीं पता. जो कोर्ट का लॉजिक है वो ये है कि सेक्सुअल ओरिएंटेशन नेचुरल है और आपको किसके साथ सेक्सुअल बिहेवियर रखना है वो आपकी इच्छा है. इट शुड बी विद कंसेंट एंड बिटवीन एडल्ट्स. तो ये जो लॉ था ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का वायलेशन कर रहा था, इसीलिए इस लॉ को क्या कर दिया गया, खत्म. एंड दिस लॉ वाज डिक्लेयर्ड अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल. ऐसी एक हाल ही की बात है, नॉट लॉन्ग अगो देयर वाज अनदर लॉ. व्हाई आर वी डिस्कसिंग ऑल दैट? वी डिस्कसिंग ऑल दैट बिकॉज आई वांट टू गिव यू एंड फील द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. संविधान की इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है, मैं फील आपको वो दे रहा हूं विद ऑल द रेलेवेंट एग्जांपल्स. It's not like SSC or PCS or RBI that you just mug up few facts and you take the exam. You have to feel the content. Sir, am I using English or Hindi while I explain? This is English or Hindi, which I was using abhi just now. English, sir, English, 98%. But allow me at least 2% wala window. No? And if I utter a Hindi word, do not feel offended. You will lose nothing, because I will repeat the same thing in both the languages, but that too on very, you can say, rare occasion. Even the word Hindi is spoken in Hindi. What do I do? देखिए, I have bought a book and I have started to learn Odia, and I plan to learn as many languages. And this is a very good initiative which I have started last week itself. I started with Odia. I do not know Odia, but I plan to learn little of all the languages. More knowledge you have of languages, empowered you are. देखिए, the another example I want to take was, this is the law and this is constitution, right? This law is violating the constitution and therefore this law was declared invalid by the court. I give example. Instant talaq. Talaq means divorce. Now under Muslim personal law, there was a provision where Muslim man could utter out 3 words: talaq, 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 wife is divorced. Shaira Bano was a Muslim woman, and when her husband, out of impulse or out of whatever reason, he said talak, talak, talak 3 times. Shaira Bano got divorced, and she was that way, in a way, pushed out of the house. Shaira Bano said that, how can you simply say talak, talak, talak and push me out of the house? Where will I go? Is it not against my dignity and my self-image that one day you come to the house and you are not in a good mood and you say talak, talak, talak and I'm out of the house? That's very bad. You can divorce me that way. I cannot divorce you that way. This law is wrong. So she went to the court, and then Supreme Court of India said that, my dear Indians, any provision of Muslim personal law which allows instant triple talaq, any provision of the law which allows instant triple talaq is a violation of the life and dignity of the women, is against equality of the women, and is also arbitrary in nature. So this was a law which violated these provisions of the Constitution, and therefore on this basis in शायरा बानो केस, इसी वजह से शायरा बानो केस के अंदर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया in 2017 struck down this provision and said that instant triple talaq is a crime. The law which allowed instant triple talaq was turned down because this law dared to go against the mother law or go against the constitution. जो भी कानून संविधान के खिलाफ जाएगा वो काम से जाएगा, वो मारा जाएगा. Any law against the constitution will be declared unconstitutional, will be removed. But the point is that who will decide that the law is against the constitution? The law is against the constitution. Thus the law should be declared unconstitutional. Who will decide? Judiciary. Parliament can also do that. Parliament can also say that the law is wrong, let's repeal it. But if they do not do that, judiciary can do that. And finally, Supreme Court of India in Shaira Bano case declared this law as wrong because this law was going against constitution. So the bottom line is, any law which violates the constitution is illegal and wrong, and thus there is no law which can violate the constitution and exist in this country. ठीक है ना? दूसरी बात, so what is the point? The point is that for any law to be valid, the testing ground is the Constitution. Constitution is the biggest law, the mother law, the supreme law, the primary law of the country. No, Places of Worship Act 1991 will not be in this category. Judiciary is the ultimate interpreter of the Constitution. See, do not say judiciary is the ultimate interpreter. Ultimate interpreter is the Supreme Court of India. Because High Court can. अच्छा एक बात बताओ मुझे आप. Can High Court interpret the Constitution? क्या High Court संविधान को interpret कर सकता है? Can High Court interpret the Constitution? Can High Court interpret the Constitution? मेरा सवाल सिर्फ इतना था कि क्या हाई कोर्ट संविधान को इंटरप्रेट कर सकता है? एंड except for few, most of you are saying no, only Supreme Court can interpret the Constitution? Answer is yes. High Court भी संविधान को interpret कर सकता है. High Court can also interpret the Constitution. The final interpretation is with Supreme Court of India. Anyways, I'll come to that बाद में. Please write few lines about yes, both can do, but Supreme Court is the final one. See, write one line, please. This question has already come in the mains, but then it's not about coming in mains. It's about concepts and clarity. More clarity you have, better chances to clear the exam of UPSC. See, what is the meaning of fundamental? Fundamental means basic. Basic means the first. First means primary. So the first law of the country, the supreme law of the country, the mother law of the country, the basic law of the country is the Constitution. That's why I have written here fundamental. देश का पहला कानून, सबसे बड़ा कानून, प्राइमरी कानून है संविधान. बाकी सारे कानून संविधान के हिसाब से बने हैं. The first law of the country is the Constitution, and every other law is made according to Constitution. And if any law goes against the Constitution, that law will be turned down by the judiciary. So dare not oppose the Constitution. पहली बात. दूसरी बात, what is the meaning of organic? See, organic has different meanings in different contexts, but here organic means something which is very basic. Now you know that Constitution is the basic law, is the first law. भाई संविधान तो पहला कानून है देश का, ये तो आप जानते ही हो, ये मैंने समझाया अभी. सेम थिंग. Other than organic meaning basic, organic also means something which has element of life, something which is living. Something which has element of life, you call it organic. किसी भी चीज में अगर आत्मा है वो है organic. See, living thing is what? Living things generally grow with time, they change with time, they adapt with time. Like you see my body. Few months back I was 70 kgs and within few months I am 90 kgs and within few weeks I will again be back to 80 or 70. अप डाउन होता रहता है. मुझे पता है अभी आने वाले 3-4 हफ्तों में कम हो जाएगा, बढ़ भी गया. So like the body weight, body size, body shape, anything which is living will keep on changing, adapting, growing, evolving. Is not the Constitution change oriented? At least in India. Indian Constitution is very change oriented. It has a living character because it is open to amendments. Which provision of the Indian Constitution allows the amendment of the Indian Constitution? संविधान का कौन सा प्रोविजन है जो उसको अमेंडमेंट अलाउ करता है? एंड अनदर क्वेश्चन along with that, please answer it. How many times Indian Constitution has been amended till now? Till now, how many times the Constitution has been amended? Yeah, very good. Domish, very good. सवाल मेरा ये है कि अमेंडमेंट कौन से आर्टिकल से होते हैं और आज तक कितनी बार अमेंडमेंट हुई है? Till now, how many times amendment has taken place? Debanjana Day, very good. Domish, किशोर, बहुत ही बढ़िया. शुभम, सर Anshika Patel. Answer, Article 368 allows the constitution to amend. Until now, we have seen 106 times constitution been amended. Ab anything which has changed 106 times in 75 years is a proof that it is living thing. It's a soul. Constitution of India has a living quality, no? It has soul. So it is also organic, change oriented. जो भी चीज संविधान में anything which is change oriented is organic, and Indian constitution for sure is organic. Yes, ठीक है. Please keep on writing all these things. Please write these things. Constitution is the fundamental and the organic law of the nation. Second, write down please. Constitution establishes the conception, character, and the organization of the governance system of the country. See, character, I'll explain these things. See, these explanations are very important for exam, directly as well as indirectly. Now, when I say character, character means nature. Let me ask you a simple question. Is India secular or not? Answer is yes. Who told you? Constitution. Is Indian government democratic in working? Who told you? Preamble. Is India a republic system? Who told you? Constitution. Is India a socialist system? Yes. Who told you? Constitution preamble. If you read the preamble, preamble clearly says, if you read the preamble, preamble is the first page of the Constitution. Now you read the preamble of the Indian Constitution, clearly says that India is a secular, democratic, socialist republic. So what is the nature of Indian government? Who will tell us? Constitution. Or for example, if we do not want to talk about India, let's talk about Pakistan. Is Pakistan also having constitution? Yes, Pakistan है तो क्या है? Constitution तो उनके पास भी है. So is Pakistan having constitution? Yes. Is Pakistani constitution having preamble? Yes. You read the first line of the Pakistani constitution. The first line says, in the name of sovereign Allah. Now when constitution says that whatever we do in the name of Allah. One thing so is clear, that Pakistan is not a secular country. And who told you? The Constitution of Pakistan. If I ask you, hey my dear, did you ever go to Iran? You will say no. But I still insist. Tell me, is Iran republic? You will say yes. Who told you? Constitution. Constitution of Iran says that Iran is an Islamic republic. तो ईरान सेक्युलर भी नहीं है. किसने बताया? उनके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने. रिपब्लिक है? हाँ है. किसने बताया? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने. So what is the nature of the government of any country? If you want to know, do not go to the country, simply read the constitution of the country and you come to know that what is the character, what is the nature of the government of the country. किसी भी देश का गवर्नेंस सिस्टम का नेचर क्या है, अगर ये जानना चाहते हो तो उस देश में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. उस देश का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ लो, आपको घर बैठे आंसर मिल जाएगा. दिस इज वन ऑफ द पर्पसेस ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. आई होप यहां तक क्लियर है. आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर टिल नाउ. सेकेंड इज, Constitution also tells the conception of the government. Conception means, you understand? Conception means it's built around the word conceive. You are creating something. Creation. You are laying the foundation of something. You create the government. You create the government. You build the government only because Constitution gave you the power, only because Constitution told you the process. अगर आज इस देश में सरकार है तो इसलिए है क्योंकि संविधान ने सरकार बनाने की परमिशन दी है, सरकार बनाने का तरीका समझाया है. So if you have a government today in India, it is because of Constitution. Conception of the government. Conception means creation. So government is created because of Constitution. The nature of government, who tells you? Constitution. And the third is organization. See, organization means design. Organization means structure. So I give you two structure, two design, and you tell me which structure is followed in India. That will be the organization of the government in India. इंडिया में गवर्नमेंट का डिजाइन कैसा है, स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है, अगर ये जानना चाहते हो तो संविधान खोलो, आंसर मिल जाएगा. बट ये सवाल मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ. लेट मी आस्क यू द क्वेश्चन. आई गिव यू टू डिजाइन्स. वन इज दिस. And see, don't ask me any meaning today because I myself will tell you everything. But as we proceed at the right time, I'll explain you everything. So, counts. See, I have given you two designs. Design number A, design number B. This is one way you can organize the government, design the government. This is other way you can organize the government, design the government. Now my question is, does India follow this design of government or this design of government? India ये follow करता है या वो follow करता है? Please answer my question. Is India following design number B or design number A? Jancy, Krish, Kishore. Design A or design B? Vicky Sharma, Aryan, Arya, Deep, Mehti. All of you are giving the same answer. Sajia, Christina, Mona, Dipanvita, Domish, Radhe Jena, Rajalakshmi. All of you are saying B. Let me tell you, my friend. Surya Raj, Piyush, answer है A. Naina, Aditi, Gautam, Sai, Jagdishwar, Anish Gupta. सबने B लिखा है. There is no problem if you write. I mean, if you give an answer that you feel is correct. Mohini, Nitin, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. Priya Das, A. A is the correct answer, sir. Reason? I'll explain you बाद में. I'll tell you if possible tomorrow itself. This design is the design which we follow in parliamentary form of government. C. Suresh, Isha. Yes, answer is A. This design is what we call as parliamentary form of government, and this design is what you call as presidential form of government. Now, my dear friends, this is what you use in America and this is what you use in India. And who told you? Constitution of India tells you that India is a parliamentary system. So when we understand what parliamentary system is, we understand that this design is followed in India. Constitution tells that America follows presidential system. भारत का संविधान बताता है कि इंडिया पार्लियामेंट्री है. अब अगर हमें पता है कि पार्लियामेंट्री क्या होता है तो हम समझ जाएंगे कि ये डिजाइन इंडिया में फॉलो होता है क्योंकि संविधान में लिखा है कि भारत पार्लियामेंट्री है. इफ वी हैव रेड द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ अमेरिका, वी विल कम टू नो दैट दिस इज द डिजाइन followed in America because this design is presidential system and America follows presidential system. Who told you? Constitution of America. So Constitution has multiple purposes. It tells how to create the government, what is the nature of government, and what is the design of the government, how the structuring of the government agencies are there. That is also the purpose of the Constitution. ठीक है, इसको लिख लीजिए प्लीज. प्लीज नोट इट डाउन. I think the duration of the class is over as far as I know, and but this discussion is not over. So I'll continue the discussion where I'm leaving tomorrow only. Before I actually leave the class, I want you to ask any question regarding whatever I discussed with you. I give you space, window, time here. You want to ask something regarding this, regarding anything else relevant, you are most welcome to ask. बाकी जो है, जो definition है बहुत important है, कल हम उसे continue करेंगे. Still, if you want to ask something regarding this, you are free to ask. Clear हो गया तो अच्छी बात है. Then you can carry on with your other work. But अगर अभी clear नहीं हुआ है, कोई सवाल है, कोई जवाब है, आप पूछ सकते हो, no problem. Any question you are free to ask. We are discussing what Constitution is, what is the purpose served by the Constitution with examples. Remaining discussion I'll take tomorrow. Before I leave the class, if you have any doubt, any question, you are free to ask. I'm here only. Most welcome. Sir, how we do make the notes for your class? See, this definition which I'm giving you, you note it down, and this extra explanation, you can make a margin on the same page and you can keep writing this and the examples which I am giving you. Like so many examples I gave you, like these examples. Side may you can make a margin and you can note down these examples. So whatever I explain, I write on the board, I dictate, keep noting it down. This will help you out. And there is no hard and fast rule that this way only you can make the notes. You are free to have your own ways. जैसे नोट बनाने आप बनाइए, जो आपको कंफर्टेबल लगे आप कीजिए. मेरा तरीका ये है, जो मैं डिक्टेट करूंगा उसको लिखो, जो एग्जाम्पल दूंगा साइड में लिख लो, न्यूज़पेपर से एडिशन करो, आपके नोट्स पूरे हैं. I think no question, no problem, no doubt. Tomorrow we'll continue at the same time. And with time, you get accustomed to my frequency, my way of teaching. And every day, if you come little bit prepared, that will make the job even more interesting and easier, right? So tomorrow we'll continue about constitution and the purpose. Till then, enjoy your day. Stay blessed, stay happy. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow now at 11:30. Enjoy your day.